The man was stunned to discover that while she was out, the adopted daughter was treating his biological daughter like a servant. Witnessing this, the man stormed in without a word. He raised his hand and struck her across the face. Seeing this, his brother-in-law rushed over, shouting. He was promptly kicked to the ground by the man. Just then, his wife and her lover walked in, drawn by the noise. She roared in a fit of rage. What madness has possessed you now? But the man, who had always obeyed her every command, did not even look up this time. Seeing the man's sudden shift in temperament, the brother-in-law couldn't help but feel uneasy. In his previous life, he was a group chairman. One day, while his daughter was walking home from school, she was suddenly struck by a car. The person who stepped out of the vehicle was his wife's lover. The man's eyes turned red with fury at the sight. He charged at the lover like a madman, intent on vengeance. But to his surprise, to escape the scene, the lover grabbed a nearby bottle and struck him down. Then, they turned the tables on him, framing him for drunk driving and assault. They even incited the crowd to beat him half to death. When his wife and adopted daughter arrived, they didn't say a single word to defend him. Instead, they stood with the lover and gave false testimony. He was so enraged he vomited blood on the spot and died right there on the pavement. Only in his final moments did he learn the truth. The adopted daughter he cherished for 20 years was actually the illegitimate child of his wife and her lover. To ensure she inherited his entire fortune, the three of them staged a fatal car accident and murdered his biological daughter. He breathed his last, consumed by infinite regret and resentment. But when he opened his eyes again, he had been reborn 1 year into the past. It was the very day of his daughter's birthday. That led to everything you saw at the beginning. Noticing the man's sudden change in demeanor, the lover panicked, fearing he discovered their affair. He rushed forward to explain. Your wife and I were just practicing Western social customs. It's expected that a country bumpkin like you wouldn't understand. The man only gave a cold, chilling laugh. He delivered a swift kick, sending the lover sprawling. Seeing this, the wife erupted in fury. She raised her hand to strike him, but he caught her wrist in a vice-like grip. He ordered her to get those ingrates out of his house immediately. The wife, however, was convinced he was playing hard to get. She figured she only needed to count to 3. He would surely crawl back and beg her to stay. And at first, it seemed to play out exactly as she expected. Stop. Hearing this, the pack of ingrates smirked. They assumed they had him exactly where they wanted him. One by one, they began making their demands. The adopted daughter whined for a luxury sports car. The brother-in-law insisted on a sprawling villa. And the lover, eager to start his business, demanded that he buy an entire office building. The wife, looking smug, arrogantly agreed to it all. She turned back, ready to command him to do it. But he reached out and snatched the bracelet from her wrist. He declared it was an heirloom from his mother. She had no right to wear it. Desperate to appease her lover, she suppressed her rage, forcing a smile. She ordered him to buy that office building at once. He agreed without a moment's hesitation. He even insisted on buying the very best one. The wife, satisfied, immediately rushed to the sales office with them in tow. Seeing this, his daughter hurried over to beg him not to be rash. She told him they simply weren't worth it. But he gently reassured her not to worry. He was indeed going to buy the building. But not for the wife and her companions. It was for his precious daughter. He was determined to trap them in their own greed. For those watching, leave 3 roses in the comments. And you'll find yourself rolling in wealth soon, with all your wishes granted and fortune following. Meanwhile, elsewhere, the wife had arrived at the office building with her group. To show off his artistic flair, the lover decided the building needed a total makeover. The adopted daughter and the brother-in-law didn't hesitate, immediately smashing the interior to pieces. They claimed this outdated decor was beneath a sophisticated returnee like the lover. Just then, the owner of the building rushed in. Looking at the chaos left behind, the owner shouted in fury at their sheer audacity. He had already leased this building out long ago. How dare they barge in and trash the place without a word? But the wife just looked at him with utter disdain. She declared she would pay double to buy it outright. The owner had no choice but to sell. Double? That would come to 3 billion. Thinking he had just found a golden goose, the owner rushed his staff to prepare the contract. Watching the wife's arrogant display, the adopted daughter gushed about.
Open the Simi TV app and watch the full series now.